What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily. Just the two of us today, Aaron. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Yeah, this is going to be a fun show today. Just you and I. This doesn't happen very often, but hopefully we can hold it together.
No, Papa Dude is probably the most consistent person ever on this show. And so
Yes.
generally, Papa Dude is here. I've done a couple solos with him, but never with you. Excited to do it, especially. Got to give you a shout out, top of the show here. 5-1 in the rundown bets yesterday. Your best bet hit, and you picked the winner in the race of the day. So hell of a day there from you yesterday on Dudes Who Bet Daily.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a very good run for us there. Yeah, the college basketball thing. And I was against a lot of you guys on some of them, so I thought, well, this is going to be a bad day, but came through. Listen, senior day, it's a thing. Keep that in mind for next year. I think all our senior days are about over. But yeah, thanks. It was a good run, and maybe we can do 2 in a row now.
Well, we're going to kick it off with one of the senior days that is getting steamed out of their mind right now. Houston -4 now. This was 4.5. I did this rundown 5 minutes ago. Now it's -4, taking on Memphis. Total sitting at 144.5. Houston opened up as a 6.5 point favorite, and just all the money is coming on Memphis. Now, at some point, it's getting a little ridiculous, right?
It is. Houston's a much better team than Memphis. I'm going to take Houston in this spot here. I get it. I get that the steam's all on Memphis. I'm going to go the other way now with Houston. I think 4.5 was be enough. Now you said it's 4. I think it's fine. I would go with the Cougars. Listen, they have been ultra consistent all year long. They have stubbed their toe a time or two, as you do when you play 30 games in a basketball season in college. But to me, you go to Memphis, it's a talented team. It's a very inconsistent team. I think they will have Houston's full attention, though. Those kids watch tape. They can see that Houston's got some athletes. They're going to have to show up, play really well to win. I think they will. Very, very good coach in Kelvin Sampson there in Houston. They usually play very well on the road. Give me the Cougars in this spot.
Yeah, really interesting game, too. The first game, Houston was able to beat them shooting 17% from the three-point line, but Memphis turned it over 18 times. So that's really going to be the key here. How does Houston shoot from beyond the arc? Does Memphis turn the ball over that much? I'm scared to play the full game. I played Houston -2 in the first half when the 2 popped up because I thought that was a little too short. I kind of like the under here, too. Houston generally playing toward the under. I expect this is going to be a defensive battle. I wouldn't be shocked if this is low scoring. The first half last time these two teams played, Houston 33, Memphis 22. If we have anything like that, you're not going over the 144.5. So I tend to lean toward the under here. I played a little bit of the Houston -2 first half. For me, this is a little bit too scary to do anything else on because there is so much steam coming in on Memphis. It's crazy to see that.
It's weird. Yeah, I looked at last night. They posted the line, like you said, it was 6, and that's about right. That's a toss-up, Yeah, it's crazy to me, and I'm with you on the under. Houston, what they like to do when they play teams like this is try to slow them down. And you mentioned it, but the last time they played, that's what they did. They tried to slow the game down, and it worked. And they can really frustrate the hell out of teams that don't want to play slow. So I think that's what's going to happen again. I'm with you on that.
This game is probably tipped already or about to tip. So if you haven't seen Houston yet this year, definitely check them out. Absolutely blast team to watch. They are not a Power 5, but they sure have the athletes and the talent of a Power 5, deserving 1 seed headed into the tournament. So it's going to be fun to watch them there. Got a monster game out of the Missouri Valley Conference. We've actually talked about this before. Drake versus Bradley. This is going to be the finals of the Missouri Valley Conference. Total sitting at 130. Currently a pick'em here. You had Bradley win the first matchup. Drake won the first matchup. Bradley got revenge. Now they're playing again in the finals here. I thought it was a really tough game. Who'd you take here?
This is a war. This is an all-out war, a brutal battle in the Missouri Valley. If you've watched these games, they've all kind of been wars in this conference. I'm going to go Drake in this spot. I think they're a smidge better than Bradley. I would not be surprised if it is a 1 or 2 point game. I think Pick'em is probably the right situation here. I'm going Drake. I think they've been the better team all year long. They've been a little bit more consistent, in my opinion, than Bradley. That's not a knock on Bradley. They're really carbon copies of each other as far as how they play, the style. I would go under the total of 130, and I'm going to take Drake to win this game.
Papa Dude throwing in his best bet here on Drake as well. I agree with both of you. I like the idea of the revenge game, right? Where you had Drake who kind of took care of business against Bradley. Bradley blew them out last time. Drake is going to come in here ultra motivated. This is for a spot. Not sure either of these teams get in at large. It's going to be tough for either of them, even though they've been phenomenal all year. It should be a great game. I agree with the Drake pick. I think they are the slightly better team than Bradley here. So we'll see if they're able to get it done there in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. One more championship game today. Not quite as highly noted. The Big South. We got Campbell taking on UNC Ashville. UNC Asheville -4.5. Total sitting at 132.5. Who do you like here, Aaron?
I really like UNC Asheville. Papa Dude's talked to me about UNC Asheville throughout the season. He likes them too a little bit. Listen, I think Campbell. I've watched a little bit of this or surprisingly, I should say, just kind of by accident. They looked very good in the semifinal game. I think they're a decent team, but I will stick with what Papa Dude's been telling me. He really likes Asheville. I'm going to take UNC Asheville.
I actually already bet UNC Asheville -4.5 here as well. Look, Campbell beat Longwood to start this tournament out. They were dogs there. They beat Radford in the semifinal. They were dogs there. Radford up 7.5 and kind of just blew it there in the second half. P.S. I bet Radford, so not happy about it. UNC Asheville's just been the better team all year. This to me feels like Campbell kind of won their 2 games of the tournament. Now they're taking on the 1 seed. I think 4.5 is a little bit short. I had this at 7. So I thought 4.5 was pretty much an auto bet for me. Hopefully we can take care of business here with UNC Asheville, but this should be another fun one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think so too. And these conference tournament championship games, they're basically an NCAA tournament game at this point, and you will see that urgency on both sides. That's what makes sometimes the little conference tournaments are much better than the bigger ones because there's just not that much at stake with the other ones.
Yeah, you usually have those first and second round wins you want to get off the bubble, but you don't have to win your conference tournament for a lot of those teams, especially the 1 and 2 seeds in all those major conferences. Whereas Asheville has to win, or else they are out. If Campbell wins, they will steal a bid from an at-large because there's not going to be a second team coming from this conference. All right, let's go over to the NBA here. We've got the Knicks taking on the Celtics. Celtics laying 5, total sitting at 228.5. Knicks continued their win streak, but did break their ATS streak last time out against Miami. Who do you like here in this spot, Aaron?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. The Knicks are playing, pretty good basketball. I took the Celtics here. I'm a little worried about the 5. I don't know. I think the Knicks will come in and play a pretty good game, but overall, I do think the Celtics are still a little bit better team. It's in Boston. They're very tough to beat in Boston. Boy, Boston having a great year with the Bruins and the Celtics in that building, both playing really well. The Bruins beat the Rangers yesterday. Celtics going to beat the Knicks today. Give me the Celtics.
I'm going to take the Knicks +5 here. The Knicks have kind of had the Celtics number the last couple times they've played. They've beaten them 2 in a row. They won last week. It's a little bit of a revenge spot for Boston, but I feel like the Knicks kind of think they own Boston right now. And if I'm catching 5 and what I think is going to be probably a pretty close game, I do think the Knicks can win this one. I'll go ahead and happily take that. So I took the Knicks plus the 5 in this spot. This next one, maybe the game of the day across all of the sports. We've got the Suns heading in to take on the Mavs. And why is this so interesting? We've got Kevin Durant, who is back now, versus Kyrie Irving on the other side. It's lined at a pick'em, which I was surprised by. Total sitting 234.5. Who do you like here?
I like the Mavs. I think the Mavs at home get it done today against the Suns. I do. I think they're going to get it done. I like the Mavs at home. You're right. This game starts in about an hour, actually. It's going to be a great game, a very intriguing game. We don't say that a ton about NBA regular season games like, hey, you need to watch this one. It's a must watch. This one is. Give me the Mavs. Give me the Mavs at home. I've told you guys for months, it's tough to go into Dallas and win.
Not so fast, my friend. This Suns team is so much better than this Mavs team as constructed in my mind. Mavs can't play defense. One of the biggest issues when Luka and Kyrie are your 2 best players is you have 2 just merry-go-rounds out there from a defensive standpoint. Mm-hmm. On the other side, you've got Booker, you've got Paul, you've got Ayton, you've got Durant. All of them fit phenomenally well together. I thought this should be Suns -2 or 3 here. I'm happy to take the Suns as a pick 'em here. Total, I think, is a little low too. I wouldn't be shocked if this is just an up and down the court game. You see a ton of points here.
It has that feel. It definitely has the feel of an over. I agree.
All right, let's head in to Carolina. The Lightning heading in there, taking on the Hurricanes. -170 for the Hurricanes. Total sitting at 6. Before we jump into hockey, really thought this was interesting. We talked about the 1.5 goals. We talked about the empty net goals. The last 2 days, 14 of the 16 NHL games have been decided by 2 goals or more. So the puck line hit in 14 of the 16 in the last 2 days, including going 11-0 yesterday. Kind of crazy there.
Yeah.
Who do you like here, Lightning or Hurricane?
When you took advantage of that to the fullest, because the Blues and the
Yeah,
Kings, you got the Kings yesterday. They were minus a goal and a half. That thing was tight. But the Blues give up more empty net goals than anybody in the league. You said that on the show. They gave up a breakaway empty net goal last night.
Took like what, 5 seconds? I mean, it was ridiculous how fast the Kings scored that empty netter.
So yeah, the Blues are like circling their zone. They're getting ready to break out. They got a free break out there. The goalie's coming off. They cross the blue line, turn over the puck, and it's a breakaway goal the other way. So it worked out great for you. All right, Lightning, Hurricanes. This is going to be another one. I think it'll be a tight game. We got a shot for an empty net goal in this one as well, because it's probably going to be a 1-goal game late. I took the Hurricanes in this spot. I just think this season the Hurricanes have been a more consistent team. They're very tough at home. This is a big-time game. Should be a good atmosphere afternoon game there in Carolina. Give me Carolina to beat Tampa today.
I'm going to go back to the well of these -1.5s, man. Look, the Lightning have lost 19 games. 16 of the 19 they've lost by 2 goals or more. I'll take the Hurricanes minus the goal and a half here. I don't think laying the 170 is worth it. I'd rather catch the +165 going the other way. So I'll take the Canes minus the goal and a half. I agree. This should be a phenomenal game. This is one of those that could very well be a playoff matchup. And if it is, it'd be a very fun series to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And they definitely are two of the best teams in the East, but you could say that about 4 or 5 teams that we talk about in the East. It's going to be crazy. This would be a great matchup. I agree.
I can't wait for the Leafs to lose in the first round again. And just they're going to play someone tough. There is no easy first round matchup in the East. And it's, man, if they go down, the papers are going to go nuts up there in Toronto.
Oh, it's going to be bad. Yeah.
All right, let's head over to the race of the day. We're going to do this a little differently. So if you didn't know, there is a massive pick 6 carryover. I think there's about 2 million sitting in the pot at Gulfstream Park, which means it's probably going to get to 10 to 12 million in the total pick 6 pool today there. It's a mandatory payout day, so people are going to be firing like crazy. And the sequence is on a scale of difficulty, rating 1 to 10. Where would you put this, Aaron?
10. I really believe it's a 10.
It's up there. There is full fields, no easy favorites, no easy singles. Everyone is going to be spreading in different races. I think that the last race specifically, which I know is going to be your race of the day, we'll get into in a second, is wildly difficult. So I love the balls you got here. Tell us about it.
Well, okay, we're going to start off with race 11, which is the last leg, and it is going to be my single today. And I get it. I get why people are going to look at that and go, well, this is the race I'm spreading. I can't believe you're singling here. Well, that's kind of my point. I feel like I need all the bullets I can in some of these other races. The first 5 races of the sequence are either really cheap horses that aren't great or tough allowance races that are completely wide open. But you get to this 11th race. It's a maiden special weight. It feels like a loaded race to me. They're on the turf. They're going a mile and 16th. It feels like we see some potential stars in here. Chad Brown has 1. Christophe Clement has 2 that are debuting. Bill Mott has a horse that's debuting. You're going to see this because you know what's coming up? Keeneland and then turf back at Naira. So they're starting to get these horses prepped for those races coming up. That being said, I am singling the 3 here. Utilization rate, Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, Kalleward stables. That's a great combination to me. First-time starter, I get it. This horse may not do anything. I understand. I'm taking a shot here. I think the best horses in this sequence are running in the 11th race. I'm going to take a shot with one that I think could be the best horse running today in that sequence here at Gulfstream. If this horse fires, he's going to win it. I love that Irad, or she's going to win it, I should say. I love that Irad gets aboard. That's a very good sign for first-time starters with Chad Brown. Chad Brown debuting first-time starters, going 2 turns on the turf. Usually a pretty good play, especially with Kalleward. The workouts are there. I think the number 3 is going to be tough. I'm singling the number 3 in the 11th today at Gulfstream.
I love the move. We've talked about this on the show before. Singling the most difficult race when you have an opinion there can give you so much of an advantage in everything else. This is going to be the sweat of all sweats if you are alive to this last race. You're sitting there with a single on the 3. The 1 to me is tough. I've talked about Miss Astor quite a bit. This is the horse that ran second to Miss Astor in that absolute romp that she had last time out. The 5 looks like a gate to wire threat. The 7's a stable horse for me. So it's just like, I use the 3. It is a tough race. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention the 8, which is Christophe Clement with Joel Rosario and a horse that's been hyped as well. So it's like, it is tough to go single in that race. So I like the gusto you got there, but man, it's going to be a sweat if you make it.
I just can't argue with anything you just said. I do acknowledge that this is a wide open race. I just looked at it as like, okay, you got where are you going to go short? A maiden claiming? I don't know. Nope, don't want to do that. Claiming races. I just felt like this is the race. If he's debuting a monster today, all the signs are that this horse is pretty good. If she's just really, really good, she's going to win, and I'm going to be live and hopefully knock a lot of people out going deeper in those other legs.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't hate the strategy at all. I'm going to call the race here. The race of the sequence for me, or the key race, is going to be the 9th race. $10,000 claimers going 1 mile and a 16th on synthetic. This is another one I think people are going to spread in. And so I'm going to try and go short here because I think that it, like we said, gives you an advantage in these sequences. If you're able to do it, my top pick here is the 3 Winning Factor, Mike Maker. This one's coming in from California, but has run on this Gulfstream Park synthetic before. That was not for Maker. Was in Donk's Barn, ran well over the turf there. The Factor pretty good over synthetic. We get Jaramillo aboard. This is a race that is devoid of pace. The 3 won't be in the lead, but will be sitting close to it. I think that's an important factor on the synthetics. Being able to sit second or third, getting first run can make you very difficult to beat going 1 mile and 16th. I'm only going to use one other horse in here, and that's going to be the 10 horse Veloce. This is a Martin Drexler horse, been very good on synthetic. This horse ran back and ran well, but just missed first off the layoff. First time trying the synthetic at Woodbine or at Gulfstream Park. This run around, the horse was up at Woodbine all summer. Second off the layoff, Zayas rides back. The horse made the lead in the stretch and just kind of faded out. I'm going to try and get through here with just the 3 and the 10. How deep did you end up going here in the 9th?
Well, the good news is I did go 3 deep in the spot. So this was the other race where you go kind of short. I did use your 3. I think that's a horse that makes sense. I used the 7 as well. And I think that's the one that I like your 10. Okay. As well. The 7 is kind of the one where we differ. Last time out with the Please Call Me Back, the 7 horse won at the 12K claiming level over the synthetic track here at Gulfstream. Irad Ortiz jumped aboard that day. He's back aboard again in this spot. He's riding for a trainer he does not ride for often. I thought that was interesting that he rides back. Kind of thought we might see a switch, but we didn't. I'm with you. I think this race is tougher, but I just thought than what the 7 won last time out, I should say. But I thought this is just interesting that Irad gets back aboard. So I wanted that 7 on the ticket. That's the type of horse that I could put on the ticket because I singled a little bit later on in the card. So I do like your 3. I think all your reasonings for the 3 make a ton of sense. I do think the horse is going to sit that kind of perfect trip, kind of stalking on the inside there and make a move. I also thought the 8 was a little bit interesting as well, dropping out of starter allowance races. Those usually are pretty tough races at Gulfstream Park, those starter allowances. He didn't do much running at all in them, but this is a big drop. So the 8 was the other one that I used in the spot.
Yeah, these are the 2 that got left off my ticket because of how difficult this was.
That's it. Yeah.
The 7 horse specific. So one last time on the synthetic with Irad, 3 back. Jose Ortiz rode this horse on the synthetic. Those are clearly the best 2 races since we got away from the hurdles here. So I could totally see Please Call Me Back win. The 8 actually beat the 10, going 1 mile and 1/8 at Woodbine as well. So I could totally see the 8 here. You just got to decide where you're going to go shorter. And so I'm going to take a shot here and try and narrow down that 9th race, the 4th race in the sequence to see if I can get some bullets some other places.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's got the feel to me of your handicapping's always got to be pretty good, but your structure has to be perfect to hit this, right? Yep. Like you always have to handicap well to hit a pick 6. Sometimes you can get away with a structure error here and there, but going in, the way these races are set up, you're going to be wrong with your top couple of choices, and you got to hit it right. Where my top choice or 2 wins when I only use 1 or 2. And then when I go deep, that horse that I put 4th or 5th gets the job done. That's the key to this sequence.
Feels like you need 3 must-use winners, and you better spread in the other races and be right where you spread, right?
Exactly. You've got to be exactly right where you went short, and You're right. Yeah, you said it much better than I was saying it.
How much does this pick 6 pay?
You're better at guessing that than me, but I think it's going to be big.
I'll go between the 8 and 10,000 range. I think you're looking at high 4 figures, low 5 figures if you can hit this pick 6. I think it's that tough.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
And that's like I like a 20-1 shot where I'm going 3 deep in a race. Like there are places you can take swings here.
And like this comment here, and sorry I've missed a few, but this comment, I might single in the last with the 8. Rob, I can't tell you that's dumb.
Yeah.
It's a first-time starter for Christoph Clement. Joel Rosario is his top rider for those horses aboard. Do it. That's the kind of sequence it is. There isn't a Forte to sink your teeth into, or he lost, but a Charge It to sink your teeth into, where it's like, okay, here's the one where I'm singling, and now, no, you've got to be creative with this one in the 8. Wouldn't be that bad of a single.
And there's always a Darth Vader looming over you at 45-1 that could pop up anywhere throughout the Gulfstream sequence. Yeah. Michael Olson guessing 7,000. Dennis jumping in at 17. I wouldn't be shocked at either of those numbers. I would be shocked if this is like 2K, though. I would just shocked if it's that low.
I would fall over backwards if it's 1,000, 2,000, and we see $6 winner, $5 winner. It would be typical Gulfstream, I guess. But
just an absolutely crazy card for them to set up for the pick 6 here. Like we said, 12 million or so expected in that pool. 10 to 12 million is what I'm expecting in that pool with the $2 million carryover. If you think about it like this, 20% takeout, you got 2 million bet. At 10 million, you're playing with no takeout still because they take 2, but they put the 2 right back in. So I would expect you're going to see 12 million in the total pool, which would essentially mean you're playing for $10 million, which is a crazy amount of money there for a pick 6 to close out a wild weekend in horse racing. All right, we'll jump into the best bets here. I mentioned Papa Dude's best bet here going to be Drake on the pick'em. I'm going to go to the 2 worst teams in basketball. They actually played last night. I'll take the Spurs and the Rockets over 230. I bet the over last night at 230.5. Going to go back to the well here. They actually had a terrible quarter and still flew over. Well, didn't fly over, but comfortably got over. I mean, they needed 15 points the last 5 minutes, something like that. They didn't score much in the second half, but man, they scored a ton in the first half. These 2 teams play fast. They don't play defense. They like to shoot threes. All of those reasons definitely help the over in that spot. Dr. Tang here, where was his? I know that he liked this game as well.
I think he likes the Spurs tonight.
Yeah, he likes, here we go. He's on the Spurs in this game. They lost last night to Houston, who easily covered. He also likes Illinois in the over in that game as well. So there's Dr. Tang's best bets of the day. All right, Aaron, let's jump over to you for your best bet.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the ice one more time. Nobody's going to be surprised by that one. We've got a situation in Colorado. After we bragged about them, their goaltending has really tanked. 2 nights back, I guess it was 2 games back, I should say. They gave up 7 goals, but it was kind of the rookie goalie, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Last night, they gave up 7 again to Dallas, and they had the starter in, Gordon Kev, or however you say his name, and he gave up 5 of them. Now we're back on a back-to-back. We're playing the Seattle Kraken, who have been scoring goals. Not a ton, but they're scoring a little bit more than they were when they went into their slump. So I am confident the Kraken can score even if we get a bounce back from a goaltending perspective for Colorado. And on the Colorado side, one thing they have not been struggling with, even though they lost the last 2 games, was put the puck in the net. They scored 5 and 3. So I think we're going over 6 here. I think worst case scenario, it's pushes, but I really believe we're going over 6. Also, who's going to start? Keith Kincaid is a guy that they picked up from Boston who's played 1 game this year. I think he's going to start. He did not start last night, but he did have to come into relief. He may be the starter tonight for this Avs team.
I'm really interested to see who starts for them. I think it's going to be Grigorov. Just because it's the mentality of, okay, this guy got pulled second night of a back-to-back. Let's get him back out there. The team probably said, oh, we gave up some bad shots. Shouldn't have given, that whole blah, blah, blah jazz. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if you see him go back tonight. I almost took the Avs -1.5 in this game. Because the bounce back factor, I think, is going to be pretty real here, where you're going to see one of the Avs' better efforts against a team that does like to give up some goals in the Kraken. I don't hate the look of Avs -1.5.
Well, the way I kind of looked at it, and I don't dislike that either. I don't think that's a bad play at all. I agree. A good team bounces back. So I looked at it as, I think the Avs are getting 4 goals tonight. So I think we're going over for the total. And Sylvain just said it. Starting goalie, 5 goals on 18 shots. So this game was going on during all the racing, so I couldn't watch it. I just kept the score, and I was like, wow, 7-3, what happened? You look at the stats. They gave up 7 goals on 29 shots to the Stars.
Is that
That's
good?
bad. I mean, maybe we do have a backup, but I still don't think we're going to get great goaltending tonight in this game. If the Avs get 4, I think it's going over.
I like that. I expect the Avs to play well tonight. McKinnon over 1.5, another one that I like. You can get that at plus money. To me, there's a couple looks here. You can go Avs if you want to. I agree with Aaron. I think the Avs put the puck in the net tonight. It's just how much does the Kraken score to help get this game over. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here, Dudes Who Bet Daily. It's going to wrap up the week for us, but we will be back on Wednesday. Next week's lineup is going to be a little bit in flux. I'm headed to Vegas there on Tuesday night to go play in NHC, so I'll try and jump in when I can Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But Aaron, you're probably going to be hosting. Are you ready for that?
I feel like, I'm going to have to take the show over next week because I know how that goes. It's when you're on the road, it's all well and good. You've got it in your plan. Oh yeah, I can do that. And then you go, I can't do this. Like, have no internet and I got better things to do. So I'm going to be ready. I think it's going to be heavy me and Papa Dude and probably Magic. So I'm going to make you proud, Somich.
I'm going to try and jump in from the floor on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because the first races are all at 9:10. So I may jump in for like the first 5 minutes, something like that. Going to have Dr. Tang at the table with me too, so I can get best bets from there from Dr. Tang. We got Tyler Hoffman and his dad going to be out there. Ryan's going to be at our table as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he handicaps. He's playing first chance, last chance. Doesn't have a seat to NHC, but wants to go out there to bet college basketball, bet the horses for the weekend, and take a shot. So I love the mentality there as well. It's going to be a blast.
He'll be in that tournament. He'll be in the NHC. I got confidence in that guy. I only met him once. I got confidence. He's going to do it.
Flying from Atlanta to Vegas to play the first chance, last chance to try and get into the main tournament. I love the gusto, man. You got to love that.
Yep, I love it. I love it. Yes, and good luck to you and Doc for sure, and everybody that we know that's playing. And now that I know Doc's going to be sitting right by you, you have to come on the show now.
I mean, it's going to be fun. We're going to be firing pretty good there. We always do when we get together anyway, but if Ryan doesn't make the main event, he's going to be firing like crazy. You saw him at BCPC.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun there. And yeah, definitely good luck to everybody who's qualified. I think I've gotten close to 15 to 20 different DMs from people saying, hey, I made it this year, started playing tournaments. So I was watching the Magic Mike show, watching Racing Dudes content, and got into the tournament thing. So come by, say hi. Would love to meet everybody who made it. And congratulations. Just getting there is an accomplishment in and of itself. So have fun with it. Don't over-prepare, but make sure you're ready for a little bit of a crazy weekend. All right, let's jump out of here with the best bets. Aaron taking the Kraken Avs over 6. Papa Dude taking Drake at a pick. I'm going to go over the Spurs Rockets sitting at 230. 3-1 yesterday, 6-8 for the week, down $200, up $337 for the year on $100 base bet. Thank you very much for joining us here at Dudes Who Bet Daily. We will see you next week. Whoop, wrong button. There it is.